welcome to the 416 podcast. This is the interview series. I'm sitting down today with Anthony Dismuke, and I appreciate you, brother, for sitting down with us, taking a little bit of time out of your day. I know you're busy, got a lot going on, and so let's get into this. So for those who may not know who you are, go ahead and take a moment, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your family and where we are.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Dismuke. We are in Montgomery, Alabama, and this is where I am the located preacher here at Eastern Meadows Church of Christ. My family and I labor here together. My wife, Raven, and my two sons, Anthony Jr. and Ace, are here with us as well. And we have only been here a little over a year and 4 months. So we got here last August. It's November now, but we've just thoroughly enjoyed ourselves thus far and being here. We were in New Orleans, Louisiana before that, and we were there with that congregation at DeGaulle Drive and with those lovely people for about 3.5 years. So, since coming out of school, so we just enjoyed the journey thus far. It's been an eventful one, but nonetheless, it's been good. It
is a journey. Sometimes, the getting there, is certainly where we learn a lot. We have a lot of influences in our lives, and you certainly come from a preaching family.
Yes, sir.
So I'm certain that has had quite the influence on you to do this work as well. So our lights just killed.
Motion. I guess I got to stand up a little bit. There we go.
That's the great thing about editing. I can cut that and splice it right back in. Hey, we went dark for a minute. We're back. So we were talking about just the influence maybe of your family. So what led you to preach? I mean, was it that type of influence, or was it just kind of seeing that, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the influence is a big part of why I became a gospel preacher. I would never attribute it solely to the influences that I had. So my father is a gospel preacher, and my uncle, and actually I had two uncles that went to Memphis School of Preaching, Eric and Tony, as well as my brother went to Memphis School of Preaching as well.
In fact, Howard was in school. He was a year after me, I think.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So I've had a lot of influence as far as preaching goes. So, but I think the important part was growing up in the church. Just growing up in the church, being in that atmosphere, and being able to see how things go, and especially as my father is a preacher. Now that can be encouraging and discouraging.
That's a true story. It can go either way, right? Our poor kids, man.
That can be both. The work of the minister is certainly not as easy as some might think. It's certainly a difficult task, but ultimately, as you grow and mature in the faith, you see the reasoning for it, and you see the purpose, and you see why it's needed, and if you have the capability to do it, the Lord needs you.
Absolutely.
Here I am, send me. So.
That's a great point. I hope you picked that up. All right, so let's talk about MSOP for just a moment. So I know you're a graduate. What year did you graduate?
2021. 2021.
All right, so when you're, of course, that's where we first met, when you were in school, and of course I knew your family already and everything, so I just not had the really opportunity to be around you any at that point, until that point really. But so your time that you went through school, 2 years of school there, what was your experience at school? I always try to ask guys who've gone through school, what was your experience? What would you tell somebody about the school?
I had a great experience at school. Really unique experience. Mine is probably one that only people in my class experience. We were COVID year.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. Let's dig into that a little bit, man. I bet that was wild.
Yeah, so we were COVID year. So my class is unique because not only was it COVID year, we entered into the school year before COVID, so we weren't exactly COVID only. So we came in and we were free to do as we will, and I think they had just started where the first day of school we would go to polishing the pulpit. So that was a unique experience. My first day, I go to polishing the pulpit. Side note, I met my wife at Polishing the Pulpit. First day of school, I met my wife.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so
I didn't realize that. That's cool.
So good side note for that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So yes, your experience was definitely different than some. So
different than most people. My experience.
yeah.
So met her there at Polishing the Pulpit. We go there and we come back, and school is intense, as you many know and have heard about. So it's intense, and you're trying to do your best to study and acclimate to the environment that you're in. As well as I've always had a beard, so before that was Brother Clark had to shave, but we were able to keep, I think, a goatee. If you had a goatee, you were able to keep that part of it. He had just adjusted that, so I was grateful for that. I didn't have to go clean shaving all the way. But then, right before the end of the first quarter, he allowed us to grow our beards out. So that was a.
Well, I got to say it. It was much harder when we went through school.
Well,
every class hears that, well, it was much harder when we went through. So we couldn't have beards and all that, Couldn't even have a goatee, okay? We could have a little pencil-thin mustache kind of thing going,
Well, the thing was, the criteria was you had to be able to grow it within 2 weeks. He gave us one of the breaks we had. You had to grow it between then, and it had to be clean, So, but before you say yours was the hardest, we haven't gotten to the rest of it. Yeah, we haven't gotten to COVID. So, in the middle of the year, did COVID hit? So right after Christmas break, COVID really hit us, where we had those orders to not be with more than, I don't remember, 25 people or something like that in the room. It was kind of intense. There was no water. I remember going to the grocery store, just trying to grab what I can, and but really wasn't much there, and we stocked up for weeks. But so school ended up being suspended for a little bit there, but it was perfect because it was around Christmas break, so you just kind of had an extended Christmas break. But we started doing Zoom classes. So we started doing Zoom, and then we got the orders to come back, and COVID's still going on, of course, but it was snowing when we got back in Memphis. It doesn't.
If it does, it's bad.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. So it was bad, and we still had to walk to school in the snow, and no instructors showed up, of course.
You still had class,
but we still had class. They were on television screen.
That's right.
But so that was unique. It was just a lot of unique experiences based on having COVID there, with snow, because it hadn't snowed for, I think, 4 years prior to us being there in that moment. So it was just a lot of unique things, especially with me. Like I said, I met my wife, so I'm trying to date while I'm in school, and your work is already hard enough,
right?
And then you add dating, trying to find one to be your wife is also something to add to it, but good things nonetheless. So,
were y'all still able to go on the restoration trip and do all that?
No, I've never been. I still haven't been on the restoration
You'll
trip.
Have to go with us, man. We'll go sometime. We'll just plan it.
Let's
go check it
out. Poor old me, in my class, we had that canceled. We didn't get to speak on the lectureship. The lectureship got canceled. So none of us have ever spoken on
So we'll put a little asterisk in history of MSOP and say your class may have been a little more difficult.
We never got to speak on the lectureship. None of that good stuff.
Oh man.
We're the only ones that got that.
That is very unique. I wasn't thinking about even COVID. All right, so let's move into Montgomery, Alabama, Eastern Meadows congregation, and let's talk about the work here. And so you've been here just a little over a year.
Yes, sir.
And so how would you say the work is going? I mean, we've talked about this off camera a little bit, but just, overall, I mean, what was your expectation coming into the work, and in a year's time, how has it met that?
Work is great. Work is great, and I think that one thing I've learned to not try to do as much as place expectations.
Yeah.
Expectations always cause you to be upset, and I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
I've eliminated.
You don't mess that up.
I've eliminated a lot of stress by not placing expectations. It's just kind of, there's a standard that God sets, and that's what I would expect.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a standard that He sets that I would expect, but I wouldn't expect people to be doing certain things or acting a certain way towards me or feeling entitled or anything just because I'm the preacher or anything. You know, just kind of go with the flow. Let's see what happens. And so because of that, it's just been a great experience. I don't have anything bad to say. The people are very loving.
We experienced that last night. I mean, on a Wednesday night. Sometimes, you know, when you slip on a Wednesday night, you know, people are doing their thing. They're busy. They're tired from the day, and but everybody was just super friendly and all that. And of course, they speak very highly of you too. So, and your coworker Philip, you know, just you know, of course, I knew you guys knew each other growing up too. So that was kind of special too. So, so you know, in the work here. For those who may be looking either for a congregation or maybe they're traveling through, want to visit or something like that, what would you highlight about the congregation here that would, you know, promote it in a way that somebody would want to be a part of this family?
Easter Meadows is a great, loving environment. I would say mostly the environment that we are able to present one. There's a lot of things that we do to welcome people in, and that's we're big on that. Is making you feel welcome. We
like
want,
family.
We want everybody to know that, and especially on Sundays, they have committees that are dedicated to that very thing. They give you bags and things like that, a welcome packet, if you will, to make you aware of everything that we do, and also to let you know that you're just our honored guest. And that's something that most people feel instantly. It's not some congregations you can go to where you might not get spoken to, even before or after service.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
It has happened.
So that's the kind of thing, and I'd say that's probably the most enticing thing. And of course, aside from the doctrine and the faithfulness of the worship service, of course, I think that just feeling welcome is a big part of why people do or don't want to go to a congregation. And we have things for all ages, you know, so for even the smallest kids all the way up to the oldest adults. So we have something for everybody.
And it's a beautiful place to worship. It's, you know, a lot of classroom space, you know, and all that too. So
absolutely.
And so a lot of area room for growth.
Yes, sir.
And so I know y'all have been working on that too. So so what areas of focus, you know, kind of in your mind? You've been here a little over a year now, and so you know, kind of you got the getting to know everybody, you know, for that first year. You know, you're spending time doing that, I know, and you know, and still trying to get in people's homes, having them in yours, and that kind of stuff. So you know, kind of going into year two, you know, what we won't call it an expectation, but what goals have you set kind of for yourself, you know, in the congregation?
In the congregation, one thing I always try to focus on is I always say inward growth to grow outwardly. So like you know, a lot of times we try to be evangelistic, and we don't have the camaraderie that we need within ourselves to be as successful as we possibly can, or we don't have the maturity, spiritual maturity that we need to be able to be as successful as we could. And so we try to focus, like right now on Sundays, I'm teaching personal work. And so that's what it's really all about right now, is trying to build us up within the congregation, trying to build our confidence, trying to build our knowledge and wisdom in the Bible, and give us the confidence also to be able to go and to talk to others, or to be able to do whatever it is that involves our personal work, whether it be visitation and so on and so forth. So there's so many areas to attack with personal work, but we're trying to grow, build each other up inwardly. So inwardly, we're focusing on self. If everyone looks in the mirror and says, what can I do to be better, we as a whole will be that's right, so much better. And you know, it was kind of alluding to that idea, you know, even last night from Ephesians 4:16, you know, that growth within, that's from that edification, you know, that strengthening from within, and then we can go out and do all those works that we're supposed to be a part of. Is there anything that's a difficulty, either because of the area or something like that, or a particular struggle that either you have encountered already, or that you foresee maybe being a difficult thing to overcome? A difficulty? Well, a difficulty could be in the area of, this is a place where it's a lot of religious practices.
Yeah. I know you're trying to be nice. That's okay.
There's a lot of different, let's make sure we say that, a lot of different religious practices and doctrines and things like that. So one of the challenges is, whereas in other places, it's probably not as much religious confusion. It's probably either you believe or you don't, and you probably, it's probably in some places, 2 or 3 different main religions you have there, and people either believe or they don't, but we have a lot.
There's a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. One more time in the motion. All right.
That should get us.
A little bit of everything here, far as, religious practices and beliefs here. So, but there is a large church presence here. There is a large church presence here. I think they call it the hub of the church. So it's a lot of, I can't remember the number, but it's in the hundreds of congregations that we have here in Montgomery. So I think just trying to help people to discern what's right and what's truth and what's not truth, and when you're in the right place and not the right place is a very, sometimes people will, because there's so many congregations here, they will bounce back and forth between this congregation and that congregation, and not really understanding some of those things that they might have done over there are not really practices that we should.
And we're not going to do it here.
And we're not going to do it here. And now you need to understand why it is that we don't do that.
And so obviously, I mean, a lot of that comes back to the teaching and the edifying, the growth from within, to and making sure that we're doing biblically as we should.
Right.
There's the 416 Ministries, we interview a lot of preachers, and we spend a lot of time in the work of edification. That's what we try to do. And so we're trying to build up, trying to encourage one another. And a lot of that, in the work, especially in the realm of preachers. And so we always ask preachers, okay, well, in your work in ministry, and you can go back and think, growing up even in a preaching family, things, you know about the discouragements and things like that, and you've probably, I'm sure, faced some. We have those ups and downs, that we go through, sometimes on a weekly basis, maybe a daily basis, but what keeps you going that might be able to help someone else down the road?
There's several things that keep me going, and one is understanding my purpose and obligation that I have to the Lord is number one. I understand. I didn't get into preaching because of anything else besides my obligation to the Lord and benefiting Him and His people. So I always try to keep that in the forefront, and because I do keep that in the forefront, the thing that also in turn encourages me a lot is when people come to the back and they tell me about how much the sermon impacts, how impactful the sermon was, what it might have meant to them, what it might have done. That's something that causes me to just, it builds me up, edifies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes me say, I want to do more. I want to do more. I want to study more. I want to be better. I want to continue to help us all to improve. It's us, because the preacher always preaches to himself first, right?
Well, he better be.
He preaches to himself first. So if it's helping me, it's helping you, and that's the greatest thing that we can ever, greatest compliment I could ever get, is that it's helping someone in some area of their life. So that's encouraging. My wife and family keeps me encouraged. So just understanding who you are and who you've believed in, as Paul has said, and just
that's right.
knowing you're keeping that kind of focus, and when the congregation just comes in and loves you on top of that, that just, by the same token, we know that can tear you down too, right? So it's just
yes,
we kind of got to ignore sometimes when people are not so nice, but just take the good, spit out the bad.
That's exactly right.
Fortunately, I've had not one bad thing. I'm still on a honeymoon, so hopefully we keep honeymooning.
That's right. Hopefully it just continues on, man. That's great. All right. Well, Anthony, thank you for sitting down with me, and appreciate the time that you spent interviewing. The 416 Ministries wants to help and to serve congregations, maybe in your area, and if there's a way that we can do that, certainly reach out to us. All of our information will be in the show notes and description below. The congregation's information here, the Eastern Meadows Church of Christ in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll have all the information there, and for Anthony as well. And so if you have any questions, you can reach out to us or reach out to Anthony. I know he'd be glad to answer anything you have about the area, maybe to be able to help you find a good home in Montgomery, Alabama. We'll see you further down the road.